Welcome to Kohi Beans, the best anime podcast that has ever existed ever since the dinosaurs roamed this earth. Perhaps they had a better podcast than ours, but they're all dead, so I don't care.
Welcome to this nice and cold, crispy night. It's Alina.
It's Josh. It's only cold here. It might not be cold everywhere.
That's true. If you're in the southern hemisphere, it's probably not cold at all. In fact, it should be pretty warm right now. Hopefully. But if you're in the northern hemisphere, it's gotten quite chilly lately.
If you're a Californian, you're freezing to death.
Yes. All right. Well, welcome.
Right. Before we get started, we'd like to thank our sponsors. None. But you can check out our social media for when we grow into big, beautiful flowers one day.
Or butterflies.
Butterflies.
Flowers are nice, too.
Flowers and butterflies, both together.
Or just like a full coffee cup.
You can witness our growth. You can witness our growth on Instagram and our Twitter and our Facebook and our coffee page.
Yes.
Of which, if you are the first sponsor, we will permanently call you out at the
Shout
beginning
out.
of every episode for the intro with whatever message you want.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Within certain limits.
Of course. I did start posting more on that website, actually. Probably
Nice.
more this week, too, actually. Just some thoughts and things I want to talk about, and I'll leave it on the Kohi page. All right. Well, now that's done. Free talk.
Free talk. So what's up with you?
I tweeted that I was going to watch Haikyuu, but then I got so busy with other projects that I haven't yet. I think I will this weekend, or tomorrow, basically, while I'm working on some other things in the background. I did see that last week I posted on Tuesday, because we were talking about food. So I asked people, would they rather have ramen or curry? And more people said curry, which I'm actually quite pleased with.
You think curry deserves more rep than it gets?
Well, it's easier to eat and make, So I figured curry would be a better option. And lo and behold, I was right.
Lo and behold, indeed.
Yeah.
I didn't see this survey. If I saw that survey, I would have picked
Ramen. You make it equal?
Yeah.
It's on our Twitter account. So occasionally I'll post some things like that. I also have been sharing more thoughts and pictures on Instagram stories. So feel free to, message or answer my questions and polls on there as well. Just some extra small things I haven't mentioned on here. So
Thoughts, you say?
yeah.
I'll be there.
Okay. Yeah, I started saying if it's me or not, so that way you can tell who's the one sharing and posting things.
What do you mean by that?
Well, just so that way, because we have different series that we're into. So I don't want someone to suddenly start spamming about one specific series when it's only I know it, and so that you don't respond to them because it wouldn't be fair, right?
I mean, I guess.
Some people do that. I think it's fair when you're a team. But yeah. I've caught up on manga. One Piece was out this week.
Early, for some reason.
Yeah, early. I'm guessing there's a holiday on Monday. Because, to be fair, there's 10 Monday holidays in Japan. So they just post it a day or two early. But, yeah. And then the Saturday manga, the detective one has gotten better. I am pleased.
The detective one?
The one I talked about by the KHR creator. It's gotten better, yeah. I'm not disappointed so far.
Run me through that again. I don't know what series you're talking about.
It's the new series from the Amano Akira, the Katekyo Hitman Reborn writer. And it's about it's like the duo cop buddy thing, There's a guy who's really good, but for some reason he can't do his work without the kind of brute force or a silly guy. And they're a duo and they're solving mysteries and stuff like that and learning a bit more about each other as they do it, right? Yeah. It's relatively followed the kind of pattern she had in her old works, but it's starting to change a little bit now that we're on chapter 7 or 8. So yeah, I like it.
Oh, that's good. That's good. You always like to see manga take a turn for the better.
Yeah. it's still kind of predictable, but it's working. It's going on its way.
I was actually a manga monster this week myself.
That's true.
I read, like, I started like 2 new series, and I like caught up with both in like the span, like when I discovered the manga to like its catch up. Like I did it all in one session, and they were surprisingly good. They were like a genre that I don't read manga or like they're like a manga I don't usually read, but they were okay. I could deal with them.
Like a short series or like a really long one?
They're like new series actually. They're like they just got started, so it's kind of hard to tell.
Oh, so you're caught up on them.
I caught up because they're kind of recent.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah. Well, you enjoyed them, right?
Yeah, they're like one of them's like really edgy, edgy romance. It's called Shonen no Abyss.
Okay.
Have you ever heard of it?
No.
It sounds edgy. Good. Yeah, it
sounds really edgy. Abyss.
Really edgy.
Okay.
It's about some guy in a very small town. Like every story that I like, it's about a guy in a small town, and he has like a really shitty life. He basically like he takes care of his brother, who's like what do you call it? Hikikomori. So like his brother doesn't work and like does nothing, and he takes care of his grandma who has like dementia, and it's just him and his mom, and his mom is like a part-time worker.
Oh, okay, yeah,
or whatever, and she's always like, well, you can't really go to university, like because we have to make money for these 2 that we're taking care of. Yeah, so he's pretty like emo. And there's like his best friend who's a girl, and she's gonna go to college in Tokyo. And there's some mysterious girl at the konbini who comes by, and she's he finds out that she's like an idol who like went from the city life to like back to her hometown. And she's like, let's kill ourselves.
Oh no.
I know, right? I know.
Okay.
Hold on with me. Hold on. It gets worse.
Oh god.
Yeah. So like they were like, yeah, let's do it, and then they didn't do it, and then they had sex instead.
Yeah, that's worse.
Yeah. And then she's like, okay, we'll do it tomorrow.
Oh god. Okay.
And then
Don't
she's like,
spoil this too much.
and she's like, by the way, there's my husband. And her
what?
Her husband was like, hey, what's up? He was in the apartment.
Okay. This is It's a wild ride, is what I'm hearing.
Very wild ride. And then after that, I'll just give like a little bit more. So, his friend that's going to college, she finds out that she can't go to college.
Oh,
basically,
that sucks.
yeah, like they like can't afford it or something.
Okay.
And she was like, "Fuck!" She hates life.
Yeah.
So then those two and then they make out, like him and the childhood friend. They make out, and she's like, "Oh my god, that was amazing! You took my first kiss," and he was. We took each other's first kisses, and he was like, "Wait a minute, 24 hours ago,
oh god,
I made out with some girl from the convenience store." And then that night, he was like, "Okay, now that I hurt my friend's feelings, I'm actually gonna go kill myself with this lady." And so he goes to the river, and who's there but his homeroom teacher? And she's like, "No, don't do it." And she grabs him before they like jump into the river together. And then so the lady that from the convenience store, she's like, "Okay, peace out. I'll see you later. Like we'll kill ourselves later."
Oh god.
And the homeroom teacher's like, "I can't let you go home. Like I have to take care of you." And so they go to her house, and then they have sex.
This is getting like worse and worse.
I know. But that's why it's called Abyss. You know, it goes even
going down and down.
It gets pretty dark. It's pretty bleak about like sexuality and romance and stuff like that. Yeah. So there's the painting that I gave you. Like I read this whole. It was already to like chapter maybe 20. So like a few hundred pages. No, maybe a little under 100. No, definitely over 100. Maybe like 200.
Depending if it's
300.
monthly or weekly. And how,
It's like 16 pages of chapters. So
Okay.
16 times, that's like well over 100.
Yeah.
But yeah. It was terrible.
Yeah.
But I liked it. But I like this.
I
You know that
know.
Top Gear meme that we
It's
talked
that
about?
taste that you have for these kind of darker, sometimes cringy things. That like
Sometimes
it hurts me
cringy.
a little too much to read.
But I like it. I like the pain. I don't know.
That's okay.
It's
a
like
lot of
spicy
people
food.
like it.
It's like spicy food.
Yeah. That's your spicy food.
That's my spicy food.
I like bland food, you're right.
Sad, like
Except now.
it gets even worse than that.
Okay.
But what I will give Shonen no Abyss is the Chako, his childhood friend.
Mm-hmm.
She's like a super cool character.
Mm.
Like there's nothing to hate about her.
Nice.
Yeah. They made her a very like strong character without a crutch.
Good. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. She's just normal, nice girl.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Plus, I think she's like one of the most accurate, like I'm a little chubby kind of characters. Like, like anatomy wise, you know, like the other girls in the series, of course, they're like sticks, you know.
Yeah.
They're like the usual like anime characters that you see. But her, you know, her thing is like, oh yeah, she's like a little chubby, but it's not spun in a negative way, and it's not. It's portrayed proportionally.
Accurate?
Yes, it's proportionally correct. It's not overbearing, and it has some story significance, so it's not just a random choice.
Okay.
But it was well done.
Nice.
So bravo, and also I like the art.
Mm-hmm.
I like when manga series like use a lot of ink.
Yeah.
Which brings me to the other series that I was reading, the Oh Maidens in Your Savage Season. I think this show got big. I think this manga got big because it's getting an anime.
Oh,
or it got an anime.
Okay.
And it's about a literature club. It's a lot lighter than what I just explained.
Nice.
Yeah. And all the girls there are like, it's like they've never thought about like romance or boys or whatever, and they're all figuring it out. And they managed to have like 5 characters and 5 different like romance stories all happening at once in like a really good way.
Okay. It juggles it.
It juggles it really well, and like it's never like they pair off and like they do their things together to like condense the story. It's like they're all 5 hanging out, and they all happen to have like romantic circumstances happening. Yeah. So it's pretty good. I think if you're not into slow series, you wouldn't want to read it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But otherwise, it's about literature club. So like you get to learn a little bit about classic Japanese literature, and they do like readings or something. Yeah. And also one of the girls is like an aspiring author. Mm-hmm. And she basically writes fan fiction. So
I love it.
if you're like a fan, if you're like into fan fiction, like it's kind of cool to see that.
That's neat though. Sounds a lot lighter.
It is neato, but all the guys are kind of douchebags in that series, which sucks. But I mean, okay, like it's not inaccurate for like stereotypes of men. Mm-hmm. Like it follows like male stereotypes, but it's like ones that I've seen before, so it's not it's not an exaggeration.
Yeah, but it's there.
Oh yeah,
that's unfortunate, but I guess maybe that's just part of the things they're gonna have to overcome.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it did have an anime, just to make sure.
Oh, it did.
Yeah.
Okay.
It got an anime, and it was quite. I would recommend the series to anybody who likes romance. Mm-hmm. It takes it a little more seriously than like, oh, swoon, like we just fell for each other like that. Mm-hmm. It's quite complex, actually, and it's from a girl's perspective, purely like a girl's perspective, which is cool.
I might check it out.
I would recommend you read it. Yeah,
okay.
I think you might like it. Mm-hmm. There is one problem though. The art style is kind of it's like I don't know what to say. Fluffy,
bland,
kind of. They don't use as much because it's not a dark series. They use more of the white blank page than they do the dark ink.
Empty.
Characters with like fair hair, like not super dark black hair. It's just like not even colored in. There's not
Right.
even like lines to discern like different strands of their hair.
Mm.
So it can look kind of like rushed per page.
Mm-hmm.
But that might just be the person making it.
Yeah. I wonder how they animated that.
I don't know. They probably just colored it stupid, like One Piece.
Maybe. But I mean, like, it'd be a lot different to be able to, like, differentiate it, you know? Unless they also just went with, like, empty ink and colors.
I don't know. You want to watch the trailer or something?
Can we? I don't know if we can on here, right?
That's true.
Oh, Twitch.
Oh, Twitch.
Why'd you have to do that?
Yeah. Yes, whatever.
We'll link it below, maybe.
Yeah. I also, yesterday, we start, for a different free talk category,
Uh-huh.
I started an anime at random from Netflix. I started watching Toradora.
Oh, yeah. I didn't realize it was your first time. It's kind of old.
Like that first time meme. First time.
Yeah. First time going through that tsundere romance anime.
Oh my god, it's like Tsundere like times a billion.
It's
Kill
very
me.
much the OG tsundere though.
It
Of that like that
it's like
10
new
years.
wave. It's like the Silver Age.
Yeah. For that like
Mm.
that 5 years or so, like that group, it's like the first one. Or
Taiga.
the biggest one.
Yeah, I watched about 6 episodes. I liked it. It's I feel like it knows what it is,
Mhm.
and it knows what it set out to do,
Mhm.
and that's what I liked about it. It got the job done. It wasn't trying to be like, it wasn't trying to elevate itself past what it is. It wasn't trying to lower itself to like lewd shit.
Mhm.
You know, it's like, this is about high schoolers
Yeah.
and romance. This isn't about sexy high schoolers, and this is definitely not about like some dark shit about these like high schoolers.
Yeah.
This is about high schoolers, you know?
Mhm.
It keeps a fair middle ground.
Mhm.
And I don't know. Maybe the one problem I had with it is I don't like the protagonist.
Mhm.
Just because he has like no backbone.
That's true. I think a lot of people kind of called that out.
He's whipped. He's whipped before he's even been in a relationship.
That's okay, I guess. I mean, aren't they kind of all in that series?
I don't like it. You know, you know, this is before the movement for guys to respect themselves. You know,
Mm-hmm.
kings. The king's got to be out there. Like that guy Ryuji is not a king.
Mm-hmm.
All right, not in any sense.
Is he not a good boy though?
He's a good boy, but
He
he's got
cooks.
no self-respect.
Yeah, he
he's got
needs some-
no self-respect.
Mm.
When you're being out self-respected by like Shiro Emiya, like, you're doing
That's really bad.
pretty bad.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like,
That's pretty bad.
you know, even Shiro knows how to, you know, give it back a little bit or say something or defend himself.
Mm-hmm.
He just takes it.
Yeah. But you haven't finished it yet.
I haven't finished it yet. I'll give you that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what do you think about the series?
Toradora?
Because, I mean, you've watched it already, right?
I
For
mean,
sure.
I watched it like a long time ago. I think the ending carried very well. As a typical romance, like drama kind of story, it's like not too far from what you would expect. But I remember the ending for the most part. I totally forgot about Idol Girl. I was like,
Ami?
yeah, well, there's another character that you saw, and that's who I thought. I got them confused, and I was like, oh, right, there's an Idol Girl in this one.
Student Council Prez?
Maybe.
The girl with the megaphone who was giving orders?
Well, you'll find out, whatever it is. I don't want to spoil anything, if there is anything to spoil. But it is pretty much what you said, yeah. I think if I went back to watch the beginning, I wouldn't like it that much. I mean, Taiga in the beginning is kind of annoying. Very anime-esque, though. But as an older person, ugh.
Banka.
Yeah.
But give me food, praise me, and I won't say thank you, and I'll offer you nothing.
Yeah, that bothers me. But, that's the beginning.
That's what we call toxic.
Yeah. Nowadays. But you'll see. You're only halfway there.
I am only halfway there.
Well, maybe
That's just my initial thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
My initial feelings about it.
We can talk about it on Tuesday or next Saturday.
When I watch more. If
Yeah.
I watch more.
Mm-hmm. Well, I might go and watch some other shows too this weekend or so.
Mm-hmm.
I have a lot of stuff to work on. Maybe in the background I'll watch it. You know, maybe that irregular Magic High School. because I know it's trash. It'll be in the background.
Irregular Magic High School.
Mm-hmm.
Never heard of it.
They called him Magic Jesus on Reddit because he is he's a Gary Stu.
We love to see it.
He has the tragic backstory. Is like mediocrely handsome, you know, like just
mediocrely.
It's like, you know, it's like every harem protagonist. Whether it's the black haired like with bangs male or the brunette with bangs. It's like that exact design. And then he's like, oh, like I'm not that great, but everything is perfect, of course. And so there's nothing to expect from the show other than like, is anyone ever going to one-up him? So
it's like a power trip.
Kind of.
Like there's a lot of fantasy is that it's like a power trip.
Kind of. I mean, he doesn't have any like
Sakamoto. Do you remember that show?
Yeah. I didn't watch it, but I know it's not quite the same like that. It's not as cool as Sakamoto.
Like it doesn't it takes itself seriously, whereas Sakamoto-kun's like crazy about it.
This is a show where it's like magic technically based on like computer coding.
Kill me.
So there's a lot of like fake technical jargon, you know, like, oh, he did this, but his skill blocks out that skill. And then he has his tragic background story with his almost twin, his sister who's only 9 months younger than him, who is the heir to the family, but he's not, even though he's the older one. Ooh, you know.
Spice.
It's like boring, but just enough to be like, so what's the ending?
Just enough to drive a plot a little bit.
Yeah, and like he also works for like the like FBI basically, you know, like, but he's a high schooler, but he's also like the top of the country in terms of like spies and stuff like that. So he's a Gary Stu. Like, exactly. Like, this, he is a fan fiction story, basically. But yeah, it is from a light
novel. You're going
to
watch that?
I watched all of season 1.
You watched all of it?
So this is season 2. So I might give it a glance.
A glance?
It's a light novel.
When did the first one come
out? Maybe 4 years ago.
They're really taking their time with sequels these days.
I know, right? I mean, it's not that great. This for this series, so I'm kind of like, whatever. But Fruits Basket and Haikyuu, yeah, I'll give it a watch.
Fair. Yeah, you know, I'm gonna keep reading the 2 manga that I talked about.
Okay.
And we'll see how they go. I also caught up on Made in Abyss, so I read 2 Abyss-related, Abyss-titled manga.
There's something about that word and you.
I know, right? Made in Abyss, the manga is going so slowly. I don't know what's happening. Maybe the manga, something's up with the mangaka, but
maybe.
Like, I took like a 2-year break from reading it, and then I opened it again, and there was only like 8 more chapters to read.
Yeah, I should probably check if D. Grayman ever came out this past year or not. I also read some webtoons, but they're only like 20 chapters long, so yeah, there's not much to comment on that.
Oh. Anyway, Made in Abyss is still weird as hell.
Yeah.
You ever see anything about that series?
Whatever you've told me and shown me, and I cringe. I like, not cringe. Yeah, it weirds me out every time.
Yeah, it's pretty obvious that the mangaka is like kind of a lolicon.
Yeah.
It's really it's pretty obvious.
Some concerns.
It's concerning, like what the characters look like and like what they do and what happens, like and their age. Like, I get that the story has to do with like children and adolescents and stuff, but you could dial it back a little bit.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be so sexual.
Yeah, people go too far out there sometimes. It's concerning, you know. Like, sometimes one of my friends joked one time that like sometimes in manga and anime you can kind of see the fetishes of like the mangaka. Like, what do they focus on when they draw, or like what's this like theme that they keep having?
Feet.
Oh,
clothes.
Okay. Clothes. Yeah, I do like clothes.
Good fashion.
Fashion. You talking about JoJo here?
Am I talking about JoJo?
Clearly, it's all about fashion for
Muscles.
him. Muscles and fashion.
Hats. Everybody wears a hat in JoJo.
The letter J. He's got something for that, you know?
My name has the letter J in it.
I see.
Isn't that right? Jelena.
You wish.
I wish.
My
We would have a
background story is locked behind a paywall.
We would have a little jingle at the beginning. It's Josh and Jelena. You know?
Mm-hmm.
But now we just have like
We don't
I'm
have.
Josh and I'm Melina.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I don't have a J in my name. Would be Jelena.
Will be a kid's book.
A kid's-
Josh and Jelena jump to Jollibee and get the jumbo
Jolly chicken. Joy chicken.
Jolly chicken.
Sorry, chicken.
We do not call Jollibee chicken Jolly chicken.
But it doesn't start with J, you know?
Chicken joy.
Joy chicken?
Chicken joy.
But where's the alliteration, you know? J, 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 J.
You know that bee, the Jollibee mascot?
Mhm.
Definitely that name starts with a J. I don't know if
Joey.
their name is Jollibee, but it starts with a J.
Jolly.
For sure. Jamarcus.
Jolie.
Jolie.
Mm-hmm.
Could be Jojo.
Could be.
Joseph.
Joseph. I feel like there's something else I was going to say, but I don't remember. That's okay. Next time.
All right, let's move on to our main show.
Yes, our
Boink.
Noragami review. Woo! This,
Something, let's go.
Yeah, this series has some really good music.
It has great music.
Yeah. I mean, I'm thinking of the openings, but I think the OST is pretty good too, actually.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They should have had an insert.
They should have. Do they not in season 2?
I don't think so.
Hmm.
Season 2 is well, let's start with season 1. We'll start with season 1.
All right, let's start with a summary. What is Noragami about?
Noragami's about this god named Yato. Nobody really worships him. So he gets his like worship and praise by helping people on Earth, like actually for like a nickel. There's like a way to summon him, like calling a number in like a bathroom stall, and he'll actually help you with your problems, and that's how he survives as a god.
Mm-hmm.
Through these like shitty donations.
Right, because in this series, if you are not worshipped, you fade into like out of existence.
Yeah, in this world, all the gods that have like temples and stuff, you know, their status as a god depends on how many people visit them and how many people give them money.
Mm-hmm.
So Yato's like pretty low, or maybe the lowest.
He's even
god.
lower than the goddess of bad luck because she's infamous. So everyone knows about her. So she's still around. And if he's lower than that, that's pretty bad.
Yeah, his only popularity is like urban myths and like people on the internet being like, the god Yato, who's that?
Right.
So that's how he gets by.
Mm-hmm.
And he meets some girl named Hiyori. I don't remember how. Remember how? Does she call for help?
I don't actually remember how, but she's someone more sensitive to like supernatural things. Kind of. Like I think that's when it kind of begins.
And she likes wrestling.
Yeah, and she really likes wrestling. So they meet and she's kind of like, well, now I know you and let's hang out. She kind of she has an issue, right? She kind of gets like this weird out-of-body soul experience and he has to help her with that.
Yeah, I think it's his fault, right?
I don't remember if it's actually his fault, but something, yeah.
She's like, you have to help me because I keep leaving my body and going into the spirit realm and I need to like get out.
Right, like she, to everyone else, it's like she has narcolepsy?
Yes, narcolepsy.
Yeah, like she faints. Falling asleep or faints.
The vapor.
Because her spirit
southern on you.
leaves her body and she's like, oh shit, I can't go back.
Mm-hmm.
So he is helping her and they become friends. And at one point, Yato...
Friends in quotes.
In quotes, yeah. Yato needs a weapon because as a god, you need some way to fight demons and bad stuff. So he recruits this little fluff ball, which becomes Yukine. Yeah, who ends up becoming his weapon and the third party of their like trio.
Yeah, so like other spirits get picked by gods to be their weapons. So this tiny little snowball became one.
Yeah, he found one and he was like, oh yeah, I'll take you.
Yeah, they used to be human and then they died.
Right.
And then they become like free agents, basically. And there's like a kind of like a god draft, like, I'll take this one.
Yeah, they literally do have like, do you want to work with us? We'll hire you.
Yeah. And he also kind of, like, he has a human form. He become like, he's like the retainer.
Right.
At the same time, he's a weapon. He is also like a retainer.
Right. Yeah. The fluffball version is like his soul just floating around.
Before being saved.
Yeah.
And like their spirit version, like, I think it looks like what they looked like when they were human.
Yes.
So they just become like a human form again, who can also happen to turn into a weapon.
Yeah, or something else. Some of them don't become weapons, but they each have their own use. They're just different.
Yep, and then I don't even like. There's a couple big bad. Yeah, Yato has a really dark backstory, but like they don't talk about it for a while.
Not really.
Yeah.
But that's kind of the three main characters and how they meet.
Also, Yato's personality, he's like really, he's like a scumbag.
A little bit, yeah. There's a lot. I was thinking he's that meme where it's like, get yourself a man who can like be a murderer, and also like the sparkly like I need money. I'm funny kind of guy. I'll do random tricks for you kind of guy.
Yeah, he's insane.
He's got a wide range of emotions to go through.
He does. He's pretty whimsical. Like like he's so crazy that the other two have to be the straight man. Like they're both the straight man for him.
Right. Yeah. Oh, speaking of that, that's kind of a theme in this series, is that a god knows how to act based on what the humans like guide him. Because Yato's a god, so he's like, I don't know, is that like a human kind of thought? And they're like, yeah. I think that's an overarching theme in this story. But yeah, he's crazy sometimes. A lot, not crazy in like it's a very like for comedy's sake crazy. But it's good. I think it has a good balance of humor and action.
Yeah, so that's basically the story. I actually think season 1 is a bit of a slow burn at first.
Yeah, it's not.
You know, they take their time laying out like Yato's position among the gods.
That's
on
true.
Earth, yada yada.
His very low position.
His very low position.
But I think maybe because the breaks between arcs aren't very clear in this manga, it was really hard for them to end season 1, and there wasn't enough like for season 2 at that time. It's a monthly series, so I think season 1 ended kind of like randomly, and then season 2 picked up on the action.
Yeah, season 2 hit the ground running.
Yeah, it was good.
That's what I do remember.
But I think it also had a filler at the end, which kind of sucked, but whatever. Yep.
Also, the gods, like, they typically hunt spirits.
Right, there's like evil spirits.
There's evil spirits, and the spirits that you employ for your use. So, like, you use the spirits to kill the evil spirits.
But even the spirits that work with you, because they were human, how they like their emotions affect whoever's like employing them as well. Right. So there's like the seven or greed or like, you know, lust or stuff like that, and that bothers the gods too. And you can become an evil spirit that way, by like falling into like an abyss of these like feelings.
Abyss.
Yes.
Triggered.
But I mean, that's basically, you know, what happens, right? Like Yukine has an issue. He's only 12. He's a kid, I think. 12? 14? I don't know. He's a kid. And a kid who's dead. So there's that. But they approach these pretty well, I think. All these different like topics and questions.
From my side, I think it's relatively simple.
It's true. It is.
I don't worry about the world's intricacies as much as I do like the main conflict, which, you know, at first there kind of isn't.
That's true.
The first main conflict is like, we need money.
Yeah. Their constant conflict, you mean?
Yeah, their constant conflict. They're like Team Rocket at first. Like, we need money. We need to slay some stuff. We need to get known out here on these streets.
By doing like miscellaneous jobs.
Yeah, so they help random humans who like happen to call the
The number.
the number on the like Yato's way of like getting people to worship him is to like have them call his phone and like answer their wish and then like get paid afterward.
Yep, and he only takes 5 yen because that's the amount of money you donate to a temple, like what they usually give gods. So he wants that as like a sign that like he is a god.
Yeah. And there's a bunch of other big time gods that show up in this story or like, interact with him.
Yeah, some friendlier than other ones. Some he has like past beef with.
Past beef, yeah. They do start hinting that like Yato's whimsical, but he didn't used to be.
Right, he didn't used to be. That's a big point.
Yeah, it's a big point, and like you'll eventually pick up on that, like, oh, he doesn't want to talk about it.
Yeah, definitely.
And like, he's trying to put it in the past.
But that creates another part of conflict. It's interesting.
It do. Yato's an interesting character.
I like him
in and of himself.
Yeah, I think so too. There's also hints of romance in this show.
Ew,
yeah, I know, right?
Romance
and action and drama. So actually, there's not that much drama.
There's some weird tension between Yukine, Hiyori, and Yato. All of them.
A little bit. Yeah, I guess.
Yes.
In season 1, yeah.
Yes, without a doubt.
Okay.
There's that part where Yukine ran away. Stayed the night at Hiyori's.
That's true.
And it got weird. And Hiyori's always secretly wondering if Yato has a girlfriend.
Kind of, I guess. Yeah.
Yes.
I forgot. I don't remember. It's
you
been
don't
a while.
remember?
No, I mean I'm reading the manga, so I'm at like a much farther point in the series where I don't need to worry about those things anymore.
They're solved. They're done.
No, but there's other things that come up. Yeah.
All right. Well, going like, do you remember who the big bad was in season 1? Like, I don't remember anymore.
In season 1, it might have just been Bishamon.
That was season 2.
Well, she would have been the
She showed up
bad.
in season 1, but she didn't really do anything in season 1.
Wasn't the ending of season 1 also an original ending?
Maybe. I think there was a big spirit coming to town, just like beyond the boundary.
Maybe. I don't think that's how it is in the manga, though.
I don't remember. But the conflict does move towards like other gods and what their deal is. And one of the biggest, the most significant god other than Yato in the story is probably Bishamon.
For the first half, yeah.
Who's like...
She is a highly...
She the god of war?
She's the god of like tons of stuff, but also, war, battle, fame, stuff like that, I think. She is very powerful and well revered under many different names.
Yeah.
So,
she's pretty hot too.
Yeah, she's got a lot of stuff going for her, basically.
She got it going on.
Sure.
A lot of people praise her. She's rich. She has a giant house.
She's got lots of coworkers, friends, servants.
Yeah, she has a lot of
spirits. She has a tendency to take in any spirit that she sees that needs help, even if they're like not able to provide any like support or means. She'll take them in. And
she really wants to kill Yato.
Right. For
reasons unknown.
Sure. You can watch season 2 for that.
Yeah, for reasons unknown until season 2.
Until season 2. Not to spoil it, but they do have some good fight scenes.
Oh, hell yeah.
Good story. I kind of like her team's Kazuma has a good story.
But he's so boring.
But I think he has a good story.
I could do without.
I don't know. A lot more happens in the manga too, so you gotta catch up with that. And then, do we find out the other big bads after her, or no?
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Nora.
She's kind of... Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the super big deal.
Well, she's part of the other big bad, but okay.
Yes, she's how you like how it introduces the other big bad.
That's true. Okay, so there is a girl that they call Nora, which means no name, right? She's nameless. Right, which is also a play on the title, Noragami, meaning like no named god or unknown god, because Yato is not known very well for reasons that some of them like don't know why.
He used to be really well known, and then
Did he?
stopped being well. Yeah.
They never really made that clear, actually.
Well, he was in a better state than he is now.
Maybe. Hard to say, but yeah. There's issues with that. Like, there are a bunch of like tiny, like little nameless spirits, gods that disappear. So yeah, worshipping is important, and so there's an issue of, I guess, your popularity and stuff like that. With Nora, she and Yato have a past history, which is kind of rocky.
She used to be his spirit.
And she's really good.
Yeah, she's really good
smart.
at being a weapon.
Yeah, and she's just very experienced and knowledgeable, and Yukine has issues with that too.
But now Yato ignores her.
Ooh, drama.
Yeah, like she's still around, like in the background, but Yato's just like, no, not gonna talk to you.
Mm-hmm. She's like, you will talk to me.
She's like, you will one day.
She's like, just wait for it.
Yeah.
And that becomes strife and issues within their friendly little homely trio. But yeah. And Nora also has connections to the big bad of the series, but you have to watch season 2.
The super duper big bad.
Yes, the other big bad. I mean, there's a lot of big bads when you have a show about a lot of different gods. You kind of can't avoid that, huh?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So yeah, big story. Very ambitious.
Yeah,
to
that's
go
true.
That deep into like kind of like the politics of these gods.
Of like religion, yeah.
Yeah. And they also have like the gods also do like lots of like a yearly meeting or whatever, and that's kind of a big deal in the story.
It is a lot of it's based on Japanese folklore and culture. So it makes a lot of references to like other ones though, because like for example Bishamon, when I was looking up stuff like on the Reddit page and fandom, she's pretty prevalent in other religions as well, which is also why she's so popular. Must be nice, huh? But yeah, it gets into a lot of stuff in the manga later on that like you never got to see in the anime. So it's unfortunate they couldn't do that, but it's really intricate. I like it.
There are a couple things that the anime has over the manga though.
That's true.
Voice acting on point, super good.
Who is his voice actor?
Especially
again?
Yato.
Isn't Yato the same guy who does like Levi and like Law? Yeah, I think it's Hiroshi Kamiya.
Maybe.
Yeah, it is him. Pretty well known, famous guy. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, really good voice actors they got for the show. Mm-hmm. Very believable.
Yeah, it's very well done. The music, like we said, is good. The action is pretty good.
I like the animation a lot. It's smooth.
Mm-hmm.
They put a lot of money into it.
It's smooth when it counts. There's occasionally like not as great, but for the most part, yeah, it's pretty solid. What else is there? Without like diving too deep into it.
We've already gone enough with this story. Let's like, talk about the other aspects. Mm-hmm. Yeah, like talking about the animation. The fight scenes are pretty sick. Yukine is a sword, of course, a katana. Mm-hmm. So you will be seeing a lot of there's not that many guns in the series, so it's not really like a gunfighting series. It's mostly melee.
Yeah.
Either versus like giant monsters because of the evil spirits, or versus like more human opponents because you're fighting other gods.
Yeah, I mean some of them are more like distance fighters, like if not with a gun but with other weapons. But you do get to see kind of for the ones that can afford it, different kinds of weapons and strategies that they use. Yeah,
like Bishamon.
She rides on a lion.
Yeah, Bishamon has a lot of servants, so she's pretty armed to the teeth, even compared to other gods.
Yeah, it's pretty neat.
But she has to say a bunch of names in a row.
Right, that's true. Like some of them are just her armor too.
I think one of them's like her earring or something.
Her earring because he's like the guidance. He's her like aiming her scope basically, but he's like pretty OP. Yeah, there's other ones too because depending on Japanese gods, you get some really interesting choices, like lightning and there's one like intense one like pestilence, like the swarms and like plague. Yeah, there's one for that too, which is pretty intense. But that's in the manga. A lot to deal with. And even going all the way down to like the OG in Japanese folklore, like Amaterasu. Oh man, wow. I really butchered that. Her usually, or the god of the sun, right? and then the other background. Some people think Yato is supposed to be one of the OG gods, but the manga hasn't addressed that yet.
Susano.
Yeah, no, the other one.
Which one?
I think some people think he's Izanami, but they've never addressed it.
Izanami or Izanagi, whichever one it is.
Whichever one of the two. But the manga completely like swerved it, and everyone's like, "No, all my ideas are thrown out the window." Maybe, who knows? Some series actually go back to it.
We'll see if it matters.
That's true. If it matters or not, to keep it to actual like Japanese like cultural knowledge, tradition.
Well, I mean, if he was an older god, then why isn't he very famous?
Well, it depends, right? Like one of the I think one of them technically did a lot of mistakes, like went to hell and back. You're not supposed to do that even as a god, and like they might have to hide it or something like that. I forgot. There's a whole bunch of theories for why, and it's been a couple years, so I don't fully remember it.
Yeah, whatever.
But they were pretty solid ideas. I think they're pretty good ideas too. But it's one of those that like I think the manga won't talk about until the very end. So we'll see. Mm-hmm.
Who knows?
Yeah. But I think the pacing was actually, I don't know. Sometimes the pacing in the manga could be a little better. I think just because there's a lot of like irregular releases, but I feel like I've been on the same arc for the past 5 years. You know, it is a monthly series, so that kind of does happen. But I bet if I went back, it's only been like a couple chapters, and it's still in the same like issues.
That doesn't bode well for a new anime season.
No, it probably won't get one. I think.
No season 3? Yeah.
They
missed it. They missed the window of like people liking Noragami. Nobody talks about Noragami anymore.
I think I saw posters for it when I was in Japan, like when a new volume came out. But it really is just like there's no good way to have an anime unless you do one for like a whole year. And not just like one 25 episode core. I think it needs like a longer one because it doesn't have good breaks.
I mean,
it wouldn't work that as well otherwise.
You can make that happen, you know. Other shows have done worse. You could even just have a black screen that says like continued.
Yeah, but like wouldn't even be on a cliffhanger. It'd be like right before, I don't know. Gangsta had that issue and they went down.
Yeah, rest in peace, Gangsta. Well, Gangsta was too rambly.
A little, but that was just kind of how the manga pacing was.
Its whole mystique was that like there was like a mystery to uncover, but then like when they started uncovering it, like you realized how little there was like hiding behind all the secrets.
That's true. But I don't know. I feel like that's kind of an issue Noragami has.
Noragami's just taking its time, and that's bad.
A little bit.
That's bad for popularity.
I mean, it has a lot of content to go through now. Did they ever talk about Ebisu in the anime?
Yes, they did.
Oh, they did. Okay, at least they did that arc. That was pretty well done, I thought.
Yeah, but if you think about it, season 1 was 2014. Season 2 was 2016.
Really?
I think so. Maybe 17.
I was gonna say 18, but okay.
2018 when we graduated college.
Oh, no. Before that.
It was before 2018. It's been about 4 years actually. I'm pretty sure it was 2014, 2016, and we've got nothing since then.
Oh, that sucks.
So, you know, that kind of like you got steam and then you rolled with it for a second season and people were into it and then you just stopped making stuff.
They probably figured it wasn't profitable and decided to go with something else.
Yeah, you know, for all the good things that we talked about, like really good story and everything, its marketability is like kind of low. I feel
a little.
It's hard to sell stuff about Noragami.
That's true.
There's not a lot of like pop to the series. There's nothing flashy about it. You know, like if you got like a statue of like Yato, like cool. You know, he's wearing a fucking tracksuit. his marketability is kind of like there's no icon in this series. Yeah, it's lacking an icon. It's lacking desirability. And things like
I guess so.
You know, just like entertain the masses. Like, man, look at that design. He's so cool. You know, even what's his name? From Kimetsu no Yaiba.
Oh, Tanjiro?
Yeah, even Tanjiro, like, it's pretty clear, it's pretty easy to visually, like, identify him.
Right, he has
And
a special pattern, he has his earrings,
He's got the pattern, he's got the weird hair, his weapon is cool, you know, there's a lot of stuff to attach to.
It's very, yeah.
A lot of imagery, but with Yato, he's wearing a tracksuit, and he has black hair, and he uses a katana with no, like, special design.
I'm pretty sure they have sold the tracksuit before.
I'm sure they have, but it's just, you know...
It's not desirable.
Yeah, that's really hard to, you know, sell as a unique item.
You're right.
Even Hiyori.
She's, a high school girl. She just wears
regular clothes... You know, has
she wears
brown,
her school
long
uniform
hair
the whole time. Yeah.
And even like her like spectral form with like the cat ears and stuff. That's not easy to link to Noragami either.
I don't think she has cat ears. She just has a tail.
Yeah,
which is like her. It's like supposed to show her link to her body and stuff like that. Bleach kind of did the same thing.
Ew. Why does that show keep coming up? Ever since we talked about the big three, I feel like every episode has been like Bleach. Something.
I'm telling you, Bleach has some good stuff occasionally.
Let me just clear this vomit from my mouth.
One day you will watch it and then you're going to be like...
I have watched it.
More of
Not
it.
all of it, but I watched a couple important arcs.
That's true. Okay.
It's not like I didn't...
That's a long time ago, though.
Give it its fair shake.
Okay, fair shake. A little jiggle.
I watched him fight the Spanish... enemies, the Espada, right?
Did?
Whatever.
Espada.
The Espada. Yeah, and it was
on
lame.
Okay.
It was lame.
Okay, that's fair.
But yeah, I think that's what I think Noragami's problem is.
Yeah, there's not a lot you can like.
Like aesthetically, it's not unique.
The manga, I like how the manga's drawn a lot. Actually, the artwork is pretty nice, but you're right, it doesn't have. Like, other than selling, like, posters of the artwork, I guess there's not much else you can really give to make it, like, special.
Yes. Why are you talking so lightly?
I don't know. I need more water.
But yeah, Noragami's problem. Get a little more flash out there. You know, the series passes under a lot of people's radars because they don't know what to make of it. And you know that's it contributes to like the show's charm in a way, in like it seems a little more grounded than other series, but it's a double-sided it's a double-edged sword.
Yeah, it is a lot more grounded, and I think it has good world building, but maybe that is what prevents it from getting out there, because there's there's a lot to go over. So but I feel like I would still give it a pretty high rating.
Yeah, me too. I mean, as an animation and like as a story, it's pretty solid. It's up there.
It has a good story, yeah.
Whether it's won the hearts of the crowds.
It was pretty big when it got big though. Like
it was big.
I am sure that like when it ends, like the manga ends, a lot of people will go back to it to figure out like what actually happened by the end. So I give it like a solid 8. 8.5? 8. An 8, I think.
You're gonna give it an 8?
Yeah. A point down for
what?
that lack of marketing being known. Like, you know, it's though like when I read the manga, I forget about it for a while, and then suddenly something will remind me of it, and I'll go back to read it. But I can go on a long time forgetting that I want to know what's happening in this series. You know, versus other shows where I am more aware that I'm going to read it every week, every month when it updates.
You know, I experienced the same thing. I completely blank out about remembering Noragami until something rattles my brain about Noragami.
Somehow, it's ironic for the series, right?
It is.
Right? It's really ironic.
Weird. It's weird how that happens, and you know, it's exactly what we're talking about right now.
Yeah.
Like how this series doesn't quite stick.
Yeah, when you think about it, you're like, oh man, that's really good, but it really easily goes away.
Yeah, everything was done right, and yet somehow something still went wrong.
Yeah, I think you're right about there's not being a very strong icon to the series.
yeah, it's hard to attach.
Yeah, and
to
I
the
don't
show.
I don't want it to have like an icon. Like it's definitely too late. But if it was earlier, I feel like it would go kind of wrong, like in that way too. Being like becoming a very typical like, oh, here's our mascot, and now everything's gonna have to be like included and stuff like that.
I mean,
it can't really be a throwaway, you know.
It doesn't even really need to be a mascot. It's just like
it needs something to make it stand out.
Similar to like it's case is kind of similar to like Beyond the Boundary. In that Beyond the Boundary is also grounded and has characters like kind of looking more normal than you would think. And yet we remember Beyond the Boundary, whether it's like the red glasses of Mirai or like her blood sword that's like super cool, right? Like we remember these like very specific moments or aesthetic parts, and that's what keeps us like thinking about the show and remembering the show. When Noragami just somehow missed the mark, like even then, like I could remember Bishamon better than I can remember like Kiori, you know?
Well, yeah, she was really iconic.
Bishamon's iconic. She's just not a main character, which sucks. But
kind of, yeah. I mean, she gets really into it. It really kind of does give that vibe of you know, if you look like at old like Asian traditional artworks like gods and stuff like that, I kind of like how the artist incorporates that aesthetic, but it really makes it more solemn than it is like interesting, kind of. Like you get that vibe of like, whoa, this is cool, and like this is something interesting, but it's not like as modern, maybe. It's not modern enough, maybe.
Oh, okay.
You know, it
sounds like it's just like mystique, you know.
Yeah, it has a mystique, but it's not for the masses per se. In that art style or like theme, it's kind of going for.
Right. I think we really dug it to the center, like Noragami's problem.
Yeah,
its core problem. Even if it has a way better story than like other stuff that gets like hugely successful and cool, it fails in that specific department.
Yeah.
Where everything else is really strong. It's voice acting, it's animation. I have no complaints about how the animation went, the fights, the story, the world. I have almost nothing to complain about. And yet
just that one thing.
More like just give me something.
Yeah,
you know?
That's true.
Give me something to like really quickly get to the show's like what can I say? Aura. Get to the show's aura.
I mean, I think you're right. They took a long time getting to the final big bad.
Yeah, they definitely took their time.
Like, to be fair, a lot of shows do that. You know, you have like this villain. Oh wait, but after that, there's this new villain, you know? So it's kind of fair, but maybe it's a part that they hinted at this issue from the beginning, and it only gets like a couple arcs later that we actually face and learn more about him. Like in the manga, they're still dealing with it. You know? Like he's always there, and it's always like, oh, this evasive big bad. Like Giovanni, you know, is out there running for, you know.
Giovanni, where's his eyebrows?
Right. But it just took so long. And like, I'm invested in it. But I don't know. I'm like, it's still happening. When is it going to end? A little too realistic, maybe. And like dealing with, you know, I want like a little more stuff to happen.
It's kind of going at like a novel's pace.
Yeah,
without
it really is.
Without being like a novel.
Yeah.
It's different media.
Yeah, but a year or two ago, when some really good moments happened, I got super excited and I was like, damn, I really can't wait for this. And here I am again going, oh man, did it update? Like, has it actually gone past that moment, you know?
Oof.
There's a couple of series more recently in the last year or two where a big plot twist or like a big reveal happened, and I'm like super excited for 2 months, and then it's like, okay, well, back to the normality.
Normalcy,
yeah. It's good, but I feel like I haven't gotten anywhere. To be fair, this year has not been a great year for anyone, so not all series have been releasing monthly, so it just feels even slower than normal. Yeah, it's also hard to find Noragami scans.
Not sport. It's not in Shonen Jump, is it?
No, it's not. So it's a little harder to get it. But maybe that's part of the reason why it's like you gotta wait a long time for that volume to come out, and then you can really read it. So yeah, but I will give it an 8.
An 8. You know, despite its like glaring problem of like lacking that center thing to keep it all together, I will give it a 9.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'll go high on this one. I actually really like Noragami myself. I couldn't complain when I was watching it. I finished both seasons with like no problem. Maybe the pacing's a little slow. That's like half a point, and then the other half a point is like the problem that we talked about, the lack of like a main aesthetic to go. I mean, like even like the opening, like the splash art for the title, it's forgettable. I can't even place it in my head. You know how like titles are like, you know, like if you think about One Piece's like title, you can see like, you can remember like, oh, there's like some rope and like an anchor and like Luffy standing as the eye.
Design,
the design of the title. Noragami, kind of I don't remember. Yeah, even Kill la Kill, I remember Kill la Kill. So it looks awesome.
Yeah, it's very obvious. I remember the opening, how there's like cities and stuff like that, because it's based in like the urban areas.
Based in the urban areas?
Yeah, like in the opening, in this poster that we're looking at, they're, you know, looking over a city.
Yeah. Here, maybe, yeah, the poster could kind of tell you like what we're talking about.
It
fits
it's the theme really well.
Lacking. Yeah. This is a terrible picture.
Yeah.
Never mind.
We'll find a different one. But overall, it's packaged very consistently, and that's a little too neat maybe. Like when it has a serif font for its title, it is kind of forgettable.
It is like a serif font, isn't it? It's like a regular old font.
Yeah, I'm seeing some of them in white and some of them in like black. Oh, this is a much better poster.
Yeah, here, let me just shrink it so you can see what we're talking about. Okay, so we're gonna show the picture of the Noragami title, and like, I mean, if you look at it, you know, it's not, there's nothing you can object, but there's nothing to really identify it as being Noragami. Even in Japanese, it's written like text.
Yeah.
Like regular text. In English, it's written in like regular text. The characters, despite looking cool, you know, they look good. They're kind of,
there's nothing special.
Blasé.
They're very realistic, I suppose. Except for the tracksuit, because no one wears a tracksuit like that now. So like, yeah, there's your problem right there. Too realistic?
Not too realistic, but nothing stands out. It can be realistic and stand out.
That's true.
Is the thing. As we said, like beyond the boundary, despite still being just like Noragami's setting of like, we're in an urban city and there's like magical stuff happening that like normal people don't know about. It's just like that. Like, here's a god that's hiding among people in the city, but you know, he's a little more forgettable. And beyond the boundary, even like if they're more than regular high schoolers, you remember what they look like really well. You know, Mirai and what's her name? Mitsuki,
Hiromi.
You remember them all. Except they even talk about how plain the protagonist is in that series, and
Akihito?
Akihito.
Yeah,
how kind of hard it is to remember him.
He's blonde, but
yes, but that's exactly what we're talking about. That aesthetic, it's hard. It makes it harder.
That's true. Yeah. Well,
I will recommend you watch it though.
Yeah, it is a good series. I really enjoy the manga. I think the manga is more stylistic than the anime, but the anime is where you can get the music, the fight scenes. Read and watch it if you can. Yes,
I agree.
Yeah, we
listen to the openings.
Yeah, the openings are so good. Yeah, we really went into the deep depths of the series. What makes it good and bad?
Yeah, we did. it was I feel like we learned it in the middle of our review.
Like, what?
And it was like, whoa.
Something is wrong.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like anybody that watched Noragami can feel that
Mm-hmm.
problem.
Right. Like, see that the volume cover. I like that art style that they have.
This one?
Kind of. This is this
looks
is
like
old.
Yeah, it looks kind of like some like 90s shit, to be honest.
A little bit, yeah. But it stands out a little more because it's like an older style, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But the newer ones, I think probably look better. Yes,
Hey, Yuki Kaji.
Is Yukine?
It's Yukine.
Oh, for once, he's not the main. Oh, okay. He's kind of a main guy still. But I was right. It is Hiroshi Kamiya.
Hey, it's Jun Fukuyama as Kazuma.
Right. That's fair.
Rie Kugimiya?
Is Nora.
What the hell? Oh, no, Daisuke!
Yeah, they have a really strong voice actor cast.
They got pros for this one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, doing a good job.
All right, so that should wrap it up for a review.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Outro time.
Outro time. We need to pick a topic.
A topic?
For Topic Tuesday.
Wow.
Are we like a local commercial for
I know, right? I was
a
like,
mattress store?
No, I was thinking more like a kid's show.
A kid's show. Out of the box.
A topic. We should have like a little box where you just like pick one out and we're like, what are we talking about next week?
Yeah, we should make a box. We'll do that next time. Or a fishbowl.
Or like a randomizer for our like Google Doc.
Right.
All
Is there anything you want to talk about?
For a topic? Not really. Let's see. A theme, maybe?
What's the theme?
Recently, I've been talking about romance. Let's do something different.
Okay, nothing romance related. Action!
Yeah, maybe action?
But like what kind of action?
What do you mean, what kind of action?
Just blank action?
Yeah, I guess we should narrow it down, huh?
Hell yeah, we should narrow it down.
Action? Well, do you have any ideas?
Smooth.
What?
Smooth, I don't have any idea going on.
I've got lots of ideas, just not for topics.
Swordplay.
Swordplay? Oh.
Yeah, anime with cool swords and fighting, and you know, it can be as historically accurate
and
as
non-historically accurate,
completely like random made up swords.
All right, let's talk about swords, because in anime, and of course based in Japan, katanas are a big thing. So are big swords that don't like have any realism in them, like Buster Blades.
Yeah, guts.
Is it called Buster Blade? Buster Sword.
Buster Sword. Buster Blader is a Yu-Gi-Oh card, so it's still not
right.
wrong.
Okay. See, there's something going on. I mean, to be fair, all around the world, there must be, and there was, and is a point when swords are popular.
They're still popular.
I mean, yeah, for collections and like fencing. You know, the little pointy, jabby. Yeah. But let's talk about swords in anime and any big flashy ones or like cool action scenes. Ooh, actually, do you know the movie Sword of the Stranger?
No.
That was one of the first like animated movies I saw as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
I always forget about it, but damn, does it have good swordplay in that movie.
You know what has surprisingly good swordplay?
What?
Lupin the Third.
Oh, I haven't seen it. Yeah.
Ooh, they got some mean swordplay.
That was a good movie, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. But see, there's a lot of cool action moments that people forget about. So let's have fun and talk about them and be like, man, they're cool next week.
Sounds good.
We'll see you later. And please check our Instagram for any news and our Twitter as well. I'll be posting more on all of them this weekend. See ya.
All right. Have a good one.